Well, hello everyone, this is Jamie Silver with Herff Jones Yearbooks and Varsity Brands. Welcome to April. I hope the yearbook is coming along well for you. Many of you watching may be already done with the yearbook. Some of you might be finishing up here. And I wanted to share a couple quick videos on the last few steps of finishing the yearbook and submitting it in planning for next year. So I'm going to jump right into it. The first one is about backgrounds and artwork. I've had a couple questions about this recently, so I just want to share this and how to find these and place them on the pages. This one is a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
Herff Jones provides you with a large collection of graphics, clip art, and page backgrounds for your yearbook. These graphics are depicted in the graphics booklet that came in your yearbook kit. The artwork and backgrounds are housed in the Art section of the eDesign library, but they first must be activated for use. Talk with your advisor and/or editor about activating artwork for use in your yearbook. Let's first look at how to apply a background graphic to a page. I'll locate the background graphic that I want to use in my art library. All of the Herff Jones backgrounds have BG as part of their file name, so if you search for BG in the art library, you will see just the background graphics that have been activated. To apply the background, click, drag, and drop the graphic on an empty area of the page. eDesign will ask you if you want to apply the graphic in the background. Click Yes, and the graphic is placed in the background on that page. When a background is applied, it's placed behind everything else on the spread, and it can't be selected or moved. If you want to get rid of an image background, go to the Layout menu and choose Delete Left or Right Background Image. The same process works with images that you have uploaded into your images library. If you click and drag a regular image from the image library onto an empty area of the page, you'll get this message. If you don't want the image to be a background graphic, click No, and the image will be placed into a new frame that eDesign creates. However, if you do want the image to be placed in the background, click Yes, and the image will become the background of the page. If you want to bypass the dialog box and automatically place the graphic in the background, hold down the Shift key as you drag and drop it on an empty area of the page. The Shift key can also be used to force one image background to replace another. Hold down the Shift key as you drag and drop a new background graphic on an existing one, and the new one will replace the old. Now let's look at how you can create a solid color background for a page. Go to the Tools panel and click on the Background tool shown here. When the Background tool is active, you'll see these controls in the Control panel at the bottom. Because my left-hand page currently has an image background, the Clear Image button is active. I'll click the button to remove the image background. This is the same thing as choosing the command from the Layout menu. I'll now click on the color swatch for the left page. From the swatches, I can choose the color for the page background, and the color will be applied behind all the other elements on the page. If you change your mind after applying a color background, select the Background tool, and then choose a different color, or choose the transparent swatch to remove all background color. If you've applied a color background and decide that you'd like to add an image background instead, you should first set the color to the transparent swatch and then drag and drop the background graphic onto the page. Or if you prefer, you can hold down the Shift key when dropping the background on the page. This will force the image background to replace the color background. The other pieces of artwork in the art library can be placed just as you would place a normal image. You can drag and drop them on an existing frame, or you can drag and drop them on an empty area of the page, and then tell eDesign not to make them a background. The artwork will then be placed in a new image frame.
So I hope you found that helpful. The backgrounds themselves are ones that I find a great thing to add at the end. Right? So rather than putting them on while you're working on the pages, those backdrops that you saw Mark place in the background, those are nice things to add maybe when you're just about done with the yearbook and you want to just spice it up a little bit, to add a little color like he showed you with the solid colors or the graphics that we've provided, or any of your own photographs or anything else that you might want to put in the background. So that's something that I find is a nice thing to add as a finishing touch at the end of the year. Now, with that said, if you are still working on the yearbook, please feel free to review any previous episodes or call or email me or text support anytime. We are here as a team to support you, but I know being April now, many of us are either done or close to done. So do call us if you have any questions. Now, moving forward, the next couple demonstrations I want to share with you are assuming you are done, and this very next one is how to submit the book. So I'm going to jump into that one here, and then Mark is going to show you the process of actually finalizing and submitting all the books or the pages for production for this year. So I'm going to play that one, and I'll be right back.
This video covers the submission process for your book. The date on which your completed book shipped from the plant is based on when you submit the book. Let's quickly take a look at a resource located in eDesign Help. Open eDesign Help and click the link shown here for the submission and ship date calendar. This will open a PDF that shows you when your book will ship from the plant based on when you submit the book. Note that these are the dates by which the books will ship from the plant, not the dates by which they will arrive at your school. Please contact your customer service advisor if you need help determining your needs for shipping and book arrival. Now let's jump back to eDesign and go to the book module. When you've completed a page and reviewed it for accuracy and completeness, you're ready to move that page to the pre-submit status. To do this, click the pre-submit link on the page in the ladder. You'll notice that the status of the page changes to pre-submit. This is an indication to you and your team that this page has been completed. If you ever need to edit a page that's in the pre-submit status, the advisor can click the Needs Work link to return the page to the edited status. Once all the pages in your book have been placed in the pre-submit status, this button for Submit Book will become active at the top of the ladder. When you click Submit Book, the submission confirmation window opens and has you confirm the information needed to submit your book. On the left, you'll see the current number of pages and copies that are set for your order. If you need to change the number of copies to be ordered, you can do that in the next step. You should also confirm the weight of paper stock for your book. If in any place you make a change from what was on your original order form, you'll see the $ icon appear. This means that the change you made may result in a change in the cost of your yearbook. You can contact your customer service advisor if you need to get updated pricing information prior to submitting your book. You'll also receive updated order pricing by email after you submit your book, unless you indicate here that you don't want to receive this updated pricing. On the right, confirm the school name and shipping address, as well as the appropriate contact person for the order, then click Next. On this screen, you can change the number of books you wish to order, and you can change the distribution of copies between hardcover or softcover if you're planning to split your order. If you're ordering soft covers, indicate whether or not you want gloss lamination applied to the soft covers. On the right side is your cover choice. This book is set up to have a custom cover that's designed on the cover template. The book setup area is where you designate if you want a custom or a pre-designed cover. If you had chosen pre-designed, you'd have the option here to pick or confirm your cover choice. Then click Next. On this screen, you indicate if you'd like to order any add-on or personalization options for your book. If you're ordering any personalizations, you'll need to email the list of personalization names to your customer service advisor on or before the day of submission, or your book may be delayed in production. Once you've selected these options, click Next. You're now ready to submit your book by clicking the Submit button. And that's all you need to do to submit your book to the plant. If you have any technical questions about the process, contact the tech support hotline shown on screen. If you have any questions about pricing, ship dates, or shipping times, contact your customer service advisor at the number shown on screen.
So as Mark said, please, if you have any questions, especially this, if you're doing this for the first time, submitting the book, it can feel a little scary, a little daunting to confirm all those details. We're here to help. So call myself, Sarah Eagle, one of our tech support advisors at the number on the screen there. And don't hesitate to call us. We're here to help you, especially if you have any questions about what you did last year as far as paper and all that. Typically it's 80-pound gloss, as you saw there. But again, any questions on the submission process, please feel free to call us anytime. We're here to help. Now, with the book submitted, the next step, then the next video I want to show you is a great tool called Save It Forward that lets you bring things forward to the next school year because there is no reason to reinvent the wheel every year. So if you designed any pages, for example, that are custom outside of our templates and all that, this is a great option to save things forward so you don't have to recreate it again the next school year. So I'm going to play that and I will be right back.
The Save It Forward feature allows the advisor to transfer key elements and settings from one year's book to the next year's book or to a supplement. To use Save It Forward, you must have at least 2 active projects that you can select from when logging in. You should always log in to the previous year's book or to the main book if you're saving to a supplement. Once you're logged in, click the link for Save It Forward along the top right of the interface. Select the book or supplement to which you wish to save. Then click Next. In the Options area, select the items you wish to move forward. Selecting Staff will activate your same staff members for working on the next year's book or supplement. Checking Page Assignments will assign each staff member to the same pages in next year's book or supplement. Selecting Topics will move forward your topic list, which was called Sections in the 2015 production year. So if you had created a robust list of sections in your 2015 book, you can move those forward to your 2016 book. Just be aware they are now called topics rather than sections. Checking Ladder Topics will assign these topics, formerly called sections, to the same pages in the ladder in the next year's book. Checking Fonts will activate the same fonts. Checking Colors will activate the same color swatches. If you have selected both fonts and colors, then Character Styles becomes an option. Selecting Character Styles will move forward any styles you created. Since character styles are dependent on both fonts and colors, you have to move both fonts and colors forward in order to be able to save forward character styles. You can, of course, deactivate any fonts or colors that you don't want to use when you're logged into your next year's book, and you can modify any character styles that you move forward. When you've made your selections, click Next. You'll be asked to confirm the export, and after clicking Next, you'll receive the confirmation screen. If you'd like to save forward templates and their associated images into the next year's book or supplement, go to the Templates section of the library. Click the Export Items button. Choose the option to export into an existing order. Then select the book to which you will export and click Next. Check the boxes beside the templates you wish to save forward, then click OK. Those templates and the images on those templates will be copied forward into the book you indicated. After saving items forward, you can switch projects using the Switch Projects link at the top of the home page to go to your next year's book or supplement.
Now, two quick things I just want to add to that. As you saw Mark give a quick demonstration there of saving the templates forward. One thing, and he mentioned it, but I just want to point it out, especially with this example right here on the screen. If you were to bring these templates forward with the gray boxes, you're good to go. If you bring any over with photos, we just want you to know that the photos will come with it. So my advice is to avoid having any pictures accidentally, brought into the next year's book and printed again, because we want to use new photos, of course, is to take this page onto a practice page and remove the photos and just leave them as gray boxes, save it as a template, and then save that forward so it looks more like this. That way we don't bring any images in from the previous year and have them accidentally used again. So FYI, if you want to have any questions about that, feel free to call me or text support, or Sarah will help you with that. And the other thing we've updated since this video is it will prompt you to save it forward when you submit the book. So it will ask you to do so, but you can also do it at the top as he showed you up here with the save it forward. So those are the last videos on saving the book, submitting it again for forward for the next year. Now the last one I want to show you about for this year is a distribution list. So if you have used eBusiness and or any of our online sales support options. So whether that's parents going online to our website to place an order for your book, calling our operators in Kansas City to place the order, or if you've recorded any sales and you've also put them in the same website, eBusiness, then it has a great receipt book for you to then pull a distribution list so you know who gets what book. So I'm going to play that right here for you, and I'll be right back.
Let's look at how to use eBusiness to generate distribution lists. In the Reports area, click on Distribution. From the Type menu, select the type of distribution report you want. All Packages will create a list of each package purchase and show any monies due for collection at the time of distribution. In most cases, you'll probably leave this field set to All Packages. You can filter and sort the data as you wish. Typing in the search field at the top of a column will filter by that column. For instance, if I just wanted 10th graders on my list, I would type in 10 because that's how 10th graders are designated in my data. I could then click on a column heading to sort by that column. For distribution, you'll probably want to export your data for printing. From this menu, choose whether you want to export an Excel spreadsheet or a PDF. An advantage to choosing the Excel format is that you can hide columns of data you don't want to appear in your report. For instance, if I don't want to show student ID, I can go to the column options and disable that column. Then when I click download for my Excel file, that data is not included. And that's the basics of how you generate distribution reports in eBusiness.
Well, I hope you found that helpful. Again, if you're still working on your book and you have any questions, please call us anytime. Email myself, Sarah, tech support. We're here to help you. Now, in closing for today's episode, in the last couple episodes you may have seen we've done some inspirational videos, and today is an awesome one. This is part of the Believe in You series. You are more than welcome to share this with anyone at school if you want to use it as in the auditorium with students in a class, however you want to use it. But this one is all about St. Jude. So I'm going to share this here with you today, and then we will wrap up this episode, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Have a great day. Thank you.
I'm bringing some of the wisest, successful, most inspirational human beings on this planet into your classrooms for your benefit.
When everything was stacked against me, that's when I was at my best.
You never know when the days could stop counting. That's when you make them count.
You gotta shoot your shot.
We all have the ability.
I can do anything I put my mind to.
And they took a leap of faith. These are the answers, the blueprints. I'm providing them to you. I have this heart that bleeds for the youth of this country because we need to learn to lead. We need to elevate ourselves. That's how this world changes. It starts with you. Today we're traveling to Memphis, Tennessee. St. Jude is leading the world in the way we understand, treat, and defeat childhood cancer and other diseases. On top of being the leaders in fighting and treating childhood cancer, families don't have to pay a single dime.
It's a place where everybody cares about each other.
This is the story of one St. Jude cancer survivor and his message to make every day count.
I was just downtown having pizza in the back of my truck, watching the sunset with my girlfriend. And my mom was like, yeah, you need to come to the doctor's right now. So I came back that night, and then it was that next Sunday where we had a meeting with my doctor. It was a family friend. They're all in a circle. He said, Adam, I'm afraid you had leukemia. And I was like, what's leukemia? So it was a Sunday night. I had a 8 a.m. appointment at St. Jude that next morning. So that's when I met with my doctor, and he gave me my actual diagnosis of acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
Acute lymphoblastic leukemia is a cancer that affects the white blood cells, which fight infection and help protect the body against disease.
And treatment involves chemo, spinal taps, surgeries. I wasn't making every day count, and then after my diagnosis, you never know when the days could stop counting. That's when you make them count.
You know, we're often guilty of essentially not truly living, doing the things we want to before we die. We float through life, we float through routine. Challenge you to just do two things a year. Make a list and do 2 things, knock them out every year, vow to yourself. Make it a book of life instead of a bucket list. Make every day count. By the time you're 70 and you look back on your life, you'll be so proud of it. The things you accomplished, the things you did. Two things a year. Make every day count.
Back in my high schooler shoes, and to know that I was being diagnosed with cancer, my biggest worry was where I was going to college, but then it all changed when I was diagnosed.
Adam was diagnosed with cancer when he was 16. And the doctor said if they caught it a few weeks later, he wouldn't have even been treatable.
Went straight to the ICU that day. I started chemo that day. I had surgery the next day. I remember vividly waking up with a port. I had one right here and one right here. It's where you can easily stick a needle in, and then it has a thing that goes straight to one of the veins in your heart. Once the medicine goes in, it can go throughout the body really quickly than just putting it in a vein.
Sometimes when you go through traumatic experiences, it doesn't set in all the way, right away. It takes a while to really understand and really impact you. How difficult the situation can be.
And that's when I had my veggie smoothie with me that morning, just coming in. And I called my mom and they're like, yeah, he can't eat anything, he can't eat anything. And that was like the first time like my freedom started to get taken away, like I made my veggie smoothie. I mean, sacrificed friends, sports. I loved hanging out with people, but when you're going through treatment, your counts are so low, you basically can't hang out with people other than going to the hospital and going home, because you can easily get sick. So that was about a year long of just isolation, and it can really get to you. I woke up after one chemo day and I fell down the stairs and my dad caught me. And I blacked out for a while, and that's when I remember my sister crying, my mom crying. I could just tell it was having an emotional toll, a physical toll. It's just not right, really.
I want you to think of one thing that matters to you at your school. It could be a nonprofit, a charity event. It could be a person that really needs your help. What actions are you taking today to help that person? And if you don't know how, ask them. How can I help you?
I was determined to graduate with my class, and St. Jude made that possible. During that, I would go downstairs, meet with my teacher named Sarah, and it was just one-on-one. Around the table, there would be probably 2 or 3 other patients with their teachers with them. And that's when I met one of the strongest girls I've ever met, Hannah. We would goof around the majority of the time, just mess around. She's no longer with me, but I know she's looking over me though. I'm basically just sick of it. Like I didn't know much about cancer until I was diagnosed, but then I realized really quickly how awful it is and the work that's being done at St. Jude to stop it. I knew I could do something with my story.
Said that one of the things that came to you when you were lying in a bed at St. Jude was that you decided that you wanted to be a voice for the voiceless. That was your quote.
So I was getting chemo one day. I came up with a business plan to raise money for St. Jude, but I called the CEO of ALSAC. So he came over a few days later while I was getting chemo, and he was all for it. He was behind my back the whole way.
Since being diagnosed in 2014, Adam, his family, and friends have committed themselves to raising funds for his St. Jude Heroes team, Adam's Army. They did this by holding bake sales, dog washes, to training even for a half marathon. In the first year alone, Adam had rallied with his team more than $170,000 for St. Jude.
I tried to tell people, like, if I can do that, then you can do it with me, you can raise money with me. And that's when I knew that I had a really cool story to spread around, and there was still a lot of work to be done.
I want you to think of just one person, one charity event. It's a nonprofit that means something to you. How are you going to help? How are you going to get involved? What actions are you going to take today to make that change?
I'm here almost every other day from about 7 to 5, receiving a 4-hour chemo treatment. And every day there's always a kid that I just look at, and they can't speak. I mean, they're like 2 or 3, and I just know how much pain they're in. I've been there. I've taken their voice and try to just speak for my patients, my fellow patients. So last month, raised $50,000 just from reaching out to friends who would commit to raising money. And it's my goal this year for $100,000, and every year after that until I'm 26 years old. Now it's June, and I finished the last dose of that chemo last Friday.
Pack up your bags, get out the door, you don't get chemo anymore.
So that's why St. Jude keeps fighting. That's why I keep fundraising. In the last 50 years, the survival rates have skyrocketed, so I can't imagine what's going to happen in the next 50.
Every student in this country has an opportunity to make a difference in the world around them. If you wanted to get started as a student, easiest thing that you can do, first and foremost, go talk to an activities coordinator or an assistant principal or your principal and make sure that they'd be okay with hosting a school-wide event. Once you've done that, it's very, very easy. You or they go to stjude.org/teamup, and from there, it walks you through step-by-step of how to sign up, very quick and easy. The best ones that I've seen happen when two rival schools actually end up doing it at the same time. You never know when the next phone call that you get might absolutely shatter your world. The people that St. Jude treats, they've received that phone call. As a student, you have an opportunity to make their day even that much better. Just a little bit. You have an opportunity to potentially save a life.